Stacey McGrady, but look who's joined us. Columnist for The Undefeated, my fellow DMVer,
what up?
Mr. Clinton Yates. We want to talk to you about all kinds of stuff, including some uniforms that, we're going to show you. But let's talk about the start of the first milestone for LeBron James. Last night, LeBron went for 25 points, 11 boards, 10 assists. This was important because it now gives him his first triple-double against the Thunder, and that makes him the first player in NBA history to record a triple-double against all 30 teams. Clinton, significant, non-significant? What do you think?
I think this is a big deal. And I went into this game not knowing this was on the table. As somebody who follows the game plenty, hadn't thought of it. And I'm not one of these people who sort of downgrades the triple-double as a statistical anomaly. I understand why people do, but triple-doubles are plenty impressive to me as they need be. And throughout the course of that game, I'm thinking to myself, if he pulls this off and he's the first person, what an indicative thing of his career versus so many other people. When I think of different eras, I think of what people did that nobody else did. Jordan, rings, never lost the finals. You think about, Curry, first unanimous and only unanimous MVP. Think about this kind of stat for LeBron. I'm like, this makes a little sense. This guy dominated the league in many different facets from many different places. And he's done it against everybody. It's very appropriate for me in terms of what LeBron's legacy is really about.
And the completeness of his game. You're not buying it?
No, I'm buying it. I mean, I think this guy could have, if he wanted to, average a triple-double for his career. Sure. I mean, he's just that talented, right? Oh, absolutely.
For his career, that would be.
You out of all people, no.
No, I like it. I like it. I think that's a cool way to put it.
For him, absolutely. So I'm not, surprised by this. I'm surprised that Russ has never done this.
Well, because the one team Russ has never had a triple-double against is OKC. So he's only played them once.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I think this is cool for LeBron, because part of LeBron's story is that he's not a one-team guy. He took ownership of his career. He always took short-term contracts to leverage the fear of him leaving. And he was like, I'm going to go play where I want to play. When I want to have my quote-unquote college experience, I'm going to Miami, like the growing up experience. When I want to come back to Cleveland, I'm coming back. When I want to go to L.A. for whatever reason, I'm going to L.A. And so it's fitting that he had, it's L.A. It's a great place. And so I think it is fitting in a lot of different ways that he's the first to do this.
I do like it shows the completeness of his game, the fact that he does think passing is such an important part for a guy who could score the basketball whenever he wanted to, if he had wanted to. It's interesting. You didn't know that this was on the table. No. He didn't know it was on the table. He didn't even know it was on the table after he did it. He got back into the locker room, still didn't know, and Frank Vogel comes in and says, congratulations. And LeBron said after the game, he thought that Frank was being sarcastic because he had turned the ball over 7 times, and that he was giving him a hard time about it, and that, in fact, when Jason Kidd came over to talk to him, the first thing Jason wanted to talk about was, you turned the ball over 7 times. And then he's like, yeah, congratulations on the whole big triple-double
Jason Kidd, another
thing.
one of the guys on that list. I think he's third on.
Yes. Absolutely. So it's not something that anybody thought, oh, man, this milestone we got to get. But I do think you're right. It says a lot about his career.
It's fascinating.
And look, the reason why the triple-double stat is interesting to me is that you need to do a lot of things in a lot of different ways. And that is an important part of being a basketball player. It's why it drives me crazy when we talk about people as two-way players, because you should be a two-way player because there's two sides of a basketball court. So you should be able to do all of those different things. I want to move on from the amazing to the interesting.
Yes, very interesting.
Okay,
I'm
NBA
big
Twitter,
on uniforms.
A buzz earlier this week when the Mavs released photos of their City Edition unis. You can scroll yourself to see the reactions. We've also had other teams rolling out theirs.
Stop.
And we'll start to see on the coming weeks. Not shown in there were the Bulls, which are also that very interesting blue color. I read this morning it's supposed to be a reflection of the lakes. And then the Cream City jerseys from Milwaukee.
All that. We'll get to all that.
So, Clinton, please, you are a fashion guru. Please rank your top 5.
Okay, look, number 5. Let's get to it. It's the Houston Rockets. I call Houston the most American city in America for a lot of different reasons, but I like the way that they've melded their look, which has been very simple for a long time, and they made some kind of tight with it. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
H-Town represents everything that Houston is, from everything else to, to sports as well. All right, number 4, we got the Milwaukee Bucks. This was a big talk during the break because people can't seem to handle the words Cream City on the same jersey. But the problem here, the reason why this isn't higher, not enough production value for me, guys. I need more outline. I need more detail on that jersey.
Do you know why Milwaukee is supposedly called that?
It's because of the bricks or something.
Yes,
you know
that's not something. That's what it is.
Yeah. You don't need anything else on your jersey.
That's it.
I just think the lettering needs to be more detailed to make it more fun. All right, so number 3. Now, a lot of you all who understand zero about street art and how far it has come in this world are going to mock this because the lettering itself could be qualified as whack. But let me tell you this. The fact that this is even, listen to me, the fact that this is even on a jersey in the year of our Lord 2019 is where we've come in terms of the artists involved and the people that get to do things with this league. Good on the Mavs for getting people involved from the community to actually make something that represents a lot of people who watch this game. I happen to be one of them. I'm a big street art enthusiast and have been for a while, so props to that jersey. Number 2, the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, here's the thing about the Lakers. They got a classic look, Rachel. It's hard to really deviate on that without going all the way to the far side and not messing it up. I think they did a pretty good job.
See, this is close enough to their real look that when I first saw this, I thought it was a knockoff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree.
That's why it's kind of good. 3 stars on the side. Number 1, obviously,
gorgeous.
the Denver Nuggets.
I'm with
look
you
at
on this one.
This is
This is
pure class. The shorts are tremendous. The jersey is tremendous. It's busy, but it's also active, which is what you want to try to do. And the Nuggets do jerseys well. They've been had great unis for the last 5 or 6 years, so the Nuggets are number 1 on this list.
Yeah.
That's it.
Cream City and Sacktown.
Come on.
What?
What do you think, Zach? Because
kinda
you're
go
also
together,
a
hand in
Jersey.
hand,
I'm just going to keep.
I am with you.
Yeah.
I can't believe there are people who don't like the Mavs jerseys.
It's not about the
Mavs
styling.
jerseys are awesome.
It's about the fact that they exist at all. As
They're
somebody that
awesome.
grew up, people look at graffiti and street art as something to be banished to the hinterlands.
They're awesome.
Now it's a part of our everyday discussion as a method of art. I love
And I
it.
believe, not in this graphic, but I think the Heat have one coming that might trump all.
Breaking news, another one.
That might trump all.
Like Bugs Bunny should be in that uniform.
I would throw in the Clippers City Edition.
Those are
that
dope.
also have the
Brooklyn
lettering.
ones are dope too, that have a sort of a graffiti feel, sort of a
Yes.
street art feel. I mess with those. I just like the fact that we're actually connecting with the communities
Right.
that create art and do things for.
Well, that's what I say. So the Clippers used a local artist who has a strong voice and sort of, I think, a very cool, strong aesthetic. I do like that a lot. Let's talk about the team that I was going to say we grew up watching, but I'm just going to call them your Washington Wizards. We grew up, they were the Bullets. Oh, look, all I always say about this team, they had a different name when I grew up. They played in a different state than they do now.
They did.
Like, it's kind of hard sometimes to make the connection. So your Washington Wizards, 3-8. Worst record, I skipped ahead here with my worst in the East, second worst overall. Are they heading in the right direction despite all of this?
So let's say that they're sort of off the wrong track, but not necessarily in the right direction. I mean, look, I don't want to throw shade at anybody already there, but getting rid of Ernie was a big step. And more importantly, though,
You don't want to throw shade, but getting rid of Ernie Grunfeld
it was a big step
step.
because it involved them actually being real about what it's going to take to run an NBA franchise. I think Ted has been focused on things, between his, gambling efforts and everything that's been happening with Monumental Sports and the hockey team. I think he thought that it was going to be a little bit easier to run an NBA franchise than it was. And he's got problems with injuries with John Wall. He's got all sorts of issues with popularity. I think if he just finally gets out of the way a little bit and lets some basketball people run a basketball team, there's enough good minds in America, it can happen. But he's got to take a huge step
Hey,
back.
talking about having pressure on your franchise. I mean, you got the Washington Capitals that won.
Yup.
Right?
Mystics.
The Mystics just won.
Yup.
Yep.
And the Nationals.
Yep.
Yup.
They're trending in the right direction. I mean,
The Wizards.
yeah, they head into lottery. So
I was gonna say, they need to go in the direction of a high draft pick.
Yeah,
Right.
Whatever
they're trending
direction
in the
that
right
is,
direction.
that's the
Keep
direction.
going that way.
My man has a tweet that I want to show you guys. My man Twan. It embodies basically every single thing about the Wizards. When you watch this team, it basically just says, look at this. It really sucks to watch basketball knowing that your team gave away Kelly Oubre for nothing. This is basically where we are watching Wizards games. You're thinking, oh my God, we had good players. Oh, they're gone. Oh well.
You could stick so many people's names in there, though.
Oh
if you're
yeah,
a
that's
Wizards
why it's
fan.
appropriate. It's like the Wizards complaint generator. Twan, shouts for that.
There you go. I am curious to see if the front office change is going to yield something. Of course,
so.
you want to give everyone runway to show what they can do. Tommy Shepard had been involved in that organization
Yes.
for a very, very long
I'm
time.
not really sure what
so
track.
you can't say for sure it is going to be a huge direction change, but he came in saying, I have a lot of different ideas than my predecessor, even though I was the assistant to him. And they have kind of done this front office by committee, where they have farmed out different aspects of player management to different people. And we'll have to see whether it works. They obviously caught a bad break with John Wall and his multiple injuries. They caught a good break with Bradley Beal wanting to stay there. Bradley Beal now cannot be traded until next summer. So this is the team you have right now, and we will see how they do. Clinton, thank you for joining us. Come back sometime
Glad to be
soon.
here. Absolutely.
I need a little Maryland, Virginia, D.C.
Trying,
support.
you know what I'm saying?
We will take a quick break, but you stay with us because up next the Rockets are rolling. But I will ask the guys how confident they are that Houston is going to extend its winning streak to 9 tonight. First, though, it's our second distant replay of the day. This one from this date in 2006. Professor Bodmer reached into the archives for Monte Ellis.
Dunleavy with a box out. Push ahead, Monte.
Take off, Monte.
Bang! Talk to me.
The blur just got.
Is that Barbosa? Yeah.